Hello, welcome. My name is Cody Remaklis. I'm a Feldenkrais practitioner, and today's Awareness Through Movement lesson will focus on the feet. In fact, that is what it's called, the feet. If you're suffering from plantar fasciitis, or you have a mobility curiosity or a balance curiosity, or maybe you have some issues around either of those things, or you're just plain interested in your body, this lesson will bring more awareness and more circulation and more sensation to your feet. So every awareness through movement lesson starts with a body scan, which is similar to how someone might coach a meditation or lead you into a meditation. This is different from meditation in that we're going to stay present in our conscious mind, but what we're going to focus on are our sensations. So being the observer of what we sense, what we feel, exploration, curiosity, some playfulness, and all the while bringing a great deal of attention and awareness to a part of the body that's often just stuffed into shoes, causing pain their whole lives. So without further ado, we'll begin. Thanks for joining me. All right, the body scan. Find a place to lie down, a comfortable place. You could have a yoga mat. You don't need one. You could have a blanket. You could just do it on a stretch of carpet or floor or grass, wherever you feel comfortable and find yourself today. It just begins by lying on your back. And as you lie there, just notice what comes up. Notice what you feel. Notice what you're sensing. Can you feel your body settle? Just letting gravity do its work. Feeling the parts of you that are making heavier contact with the floor. The parts of you that feel more lifted, that don't make contact. And how are you breathing? What do you notice about your breath? You breathing through your nose or out your mouth, or some combination? Can you simply notice your breathing? Parts of you that move on your exhales. Maybe you notice something in your armpits on your inhales. Just see what's there for you. You can pause this video and take a little more time to be in this space. Otherwise, we will move on to the lesson itself. So place your soles of your feet together. Hi, so place your soles of your feet together. With your left hand, place your thumb between your two big toes. So you'll take the rest of your toes, so all 8 of your other toes, in your left hand, like you can see here. And with your right hand, take the 2 big toes up and away, ever so slightly. See what kind of movement you have there. Up and away with your right hand. And then with your left hand, press your toes together so that from the base of your toes out to the pads of your toes, all those 8 toes, or as much of them as you can, press them against each other with your left hand, while with your right hand taking your big toes up and away. However much movement there, if you have almost none, can you just intend to do it? Making just ever so slight is the movement, introducing that direction. And then can you, with your left hand, move your 8 toes that are pressed together away as you move your 2 big toes up. So almost like you're opening and closing that space between your 2 big toes. And you can see here that I'm not doing very much movement, but I feel a great deal. So this isn't about how it looks. The Feldenkrais method is not about how it looks, but how things feel. Amplifying your sensory awareness. Learning to follow and pay attention to sensation as if they were as important as thoughts themselves. And then with your right hand, take 4 toes. So your left thumb will go between your second and third toes, and then your right hand will take 4 toes, including 2 big toes and 2 toes. With your left hand, press those toes together, the 6 toes below, so that you can feel more of those toes along their length against each other, and then repeat. Open and close that space between those toes that your left thumb's wrapped around, and that you're holding with your right hand. So 4 toes go up, 6 toes go down and back together. Or open and close. Or up and away, 6 toes go down toward the floor more, and back together. Just do this a few times. So don't pull hard. The distance between them will soften and organize as we go through this lesson. You'll notice changes in your body and in how it functions, how available it is to you, and how much you notice. How much mobility there is will probably change throughout the lesson. You won't have to do any of that. Your kinesthetic awareness will be doing it for you. So we're just tapping into our own nervous system. But we're bringing our conscious mind to it. So if this is like meditation, the object of our meditation is our sensations. And then take 6 toes with your right hand, and your thumb goes between your third and fourth toes, your left thumb, pressing together those 4 toes underneath and pulling those 6 toes above with your right hand away, up and away, and back together. Let's do this a few times. See what you notice. And then left hand, take 2 toes down at the bottom and do the same thing. Just a few times. Honor your comfort. If you have a great deal of pain by doing any of this, do less. And then have a rest on your back. We take these short pauses to rest our nervous system, rest your attention. Kind of like ground zero. Then come back up to sit. Bring the soles of your feet together again. And now with your left foot and right foot, interlace your toes with your big toe between your right big toe between your left big toe and its second toe. So left big toe will be on top. Just literally interlace each toe as you would your fingers. Take your time with this. Forcing it, there's no brownie points for speed or anything else. This is really an exploration, And it's silly, or it might seem silly at this point in time as you do this. I forced it a little there. I don't recommend doing that. Definitely, it's interesting to start in either direction, but for right now, we're just starting at the big toe and working our way down, interlacing our toes with your hands, using your hands, pulling with your right hand or left hand to help the toes get in between each one. So you're doing this with your toes. Gently. And then once you've done that, switch and do it the other way. So right big toe will be on top this time. The help of your hands, just interlace each toe. Take the time you need to do it. For me, my lower toes are a little bit more, they're a little more difficult for me to see, and for most of us, they aren't quite as articulate, so it does take a little bit longer for me down in the lower toes. Lower relative to me, so pinky toe area. And with them interlaced, roll on your back. See if it's possible for you. If it's not, see what is possible. Your life will not be drastically increased because you can roll and keep your toes interlaced. However, the simple challenge of it, or let's say the exploration of it again, you never know what you might learn about your own anatomy or the way you approach difficult tasks or challenging tasks. And then separate your toes and rest on your back. Just relax here. Just be in the wash of your sensations. And then while on your back, bend up your knees. Bring your right foot onto your left knee, similar to I am here. With your this is right foot, the sole of this right foot kind of pointed towards your face. Interlace your left hand fingers through each of your toes. Your thumb on the outside of your big toe. You can help with your right hand if you need to. Trying to keep your toes in a line. These are general guidelines. Got to see what's available for you. So, in a relative line. And with your hands like this, your fingers interlace between your toes. Bend your toes upward toward your knee and back. To neutral, back to neutral. So whatever mobility you have there, just notice what you got. Not trying to make the most of it, in a sense, not trying to go as far as you can. keeping your toes in a line. And then switch hands. So from above your foot, interlace your fingers of your right hand with your right toes from above. And again, trying to observe all the toes in a relative line. Help with your left hand as you need. And then bring your toes down towards your heel and back to neutral. Let that go. Roll to lie on your back. Just take a moment here. And bend your knees up, bring your feet to stand, and bring your left foot onto your right knee. Palm or sole of your left foot in the direction of your face. And with your right hand, interlace your right fingers with your left toes. In a relative line with one another, using your left hand to help. And so, same thing on this side. Range of motion, bring your toes upward towards your knee and back to neutral. Upward towards your knee, back to neutral. Whatever amount of movement you got is okay. It's not about as much as you can do, and this isn't exercising. So, it's about the quality of your attention. How well can you notice? And then let that part go and take your left hand and come from the top or above your foot and interlace your left fingers with your left toes. Same as we did on the other side. Toes in a relative line. And go down towards your heel and back up. See what movement is available to you there. What do you notice? What do you sense? And now, bend the toes down, but fan the toes towards your face as you do it. So starting with your pinky toe, fanning the toes toward your face as you go down. And reversing. So you're almost turning the sole of your foot ever so slightly, or depending on your mobility, towards your face. And then rest. Remember, you can take a rest anytime you feel you need to in any of these lessons. And I encourage you to do it. If you're feeling particularly fatigued in your body or in your attention, honor how you feel. Show up for yourself. Now sit up again with your right foot on the floor, your left foot underneath. Lift only your big toe with your hands helping. So your right hand holding your four toes down while you lift up your big toe from the mat or from the floor. Like so. See what's available to you. So the rest of your toes here are just resting. They're flat. And you lift your big toe. Set it back down. And then see if you can do it without the help of your hand, your right hand. Lift your big toe, set it back down. How simply can you do it? Lift right big toe, maybe 10 times. You can help with your hands as you need. It's certainly not a race. There's no gold star for getting 10 or more. This is about building your ability to be aware of finer and finer details in your own body. I would imagine if it was difficult, it's getting easier. Or there's something about it that's a little less efforting. And now do the opposite. So holding your big toe down, take your 4 toes up. So you can use your left or right hand to hold your right big toe down and lift up the 4 toes. Set them back down. And try 3 times at least without the help of your hands. Leaving your big toe behind, lift up your 4 toes. How simply can you do it? How lightly? If you don't need to go far, is it easier? Why? What changes if you're going smaller? About being able to do it, if it makes it more possible. And then switch your legs. And it's better to help with your hands than to strain in any part of this lesson. Okay, so holding your right, with your left hand, hold your left 4 toes down and lift up your big toe off the floor. Set it back down. What's available to you? Experiment not needing to use your hands. Can you do it easier? Softer? Helping with your hands as you need. And then change it and lift only your toes. So left big toe down, 4 left toes up. Set them back down. Try a few times without the help of your hand. And then rest on your back. And then come to sit again. Right foot on the floor. Lift your right toes up and rest on the right heel. So your heel's on your mat or on the floor. Now grab with your right hand, grab your right big toe. Now bend your right big toe up and bend your toes down. Back to neutral. Good. Just do this a few times. See if you can simplify the movement. Now with both hands, right big toe goes up and right toes go down. it's possible for the cushions of your toes to touch your sole of your foot eventually. So bending them all the way around to where they touch the sole of your foot eventually. So you're just encouraging right now more mobility in your feet. You're seeing what's there, not just encouraging straight out. I think it's good to see what is available to you. And remembering to go back to start in neutral before trying again. And now, see if you can do 3 toes up, 2 toes down. So I'm taking big toe, first and second toe up, and my pinky and third toe down. And now see if you can do it with real lightness. Just the simplicity of it. So with your right hand, you're going to fold your toes inward toward the middle toe, toward the middle of your foot. So curving in with your right big toe coming up. And going back to neutral. And now just your pinky toe several times. Curling it in towards the middle and back. Try moving all the other toes up perhaps. For now, just big toe up, pinky toe down and towards the middle. Now all your toes in your right hand, bend your toes down and inward. And then back to neutral. Turn your pinky toe under the most. Bend them all so the sole can come towards your face a little bit. The sole of your foot comes toward your face. For me, my right knee has to be allowed to move out for me to see much of the sole of my foot. But seeing the sole of your foot doesn't make you a happier or more well-balanced human being necessarily. So let's just experiment. See what feels pleasing or available to you. Always seeing what kind of tension or effort we can let go of in order to do any of the movements that we do in awareness through movement. But like a hand that closes, see if you can close your foot, your right foot. And rest on your back. Notice how your feet are feeling. And come to sit again with doing the same thing on the left side or with your left foot. Bringing your left toes up, resting your foot on its heel. So we're going to help with your left hand and fold all your left toes down and inward. Paying special attention to your pinky toe. And then right hand, take the pinky toe, your left pinky toe, from the base knuckle. So from your base knuckle. And pull it towards your heel. Each time a little simpler, a little easier. And now only your second toe from your pinky. So second toe in from your pinky. Pulling from the base knuckle toward the sole of your foot, back to neutral. Not just necessarily seeing how far you can go, but introducing maybe a little more mobility or a little bit more range of motion every time. But again, this isn't about going as far or as fast as you can. It's about noticing whatever it is that you do. Staying curious. That's the real challenge about the awareness through movement lessons, is staying the observer. And then like this, bending your toes to the sole with the three joints of the toe, go to the other toes. So working up from the toe you were just on. So third now from your pinky toe. Maybe experimenting with what angle your leg is at. See what kind of mobility there is for you. Taking your each toe respectively from the third knuckle toward the heel of your foot and back. It's kind of hard to show that. So my base knuckle right there towards the heel and back. So doing all the toes minus your big toe in this direction. And then switch to your right foot in this position. Don't switch the feet over, just with your foot in this position. So with your left hand, pull the pinky toe of your right foot towards your sole, or the midline of your foot towards your heel too. So down and in from your third knuckle, from your base knuckle of your pinky toe. And then rest on your back. And come to sit again with the soles of your feet together once more. With both hands, fold all your toes inward. Now contract the muscles of your feet and your toes powerfully. And hold them like this, your toes inward. And let go with your hands. As if you wanted to catch something with your hands. With your feet. So almost like you're creating cupped hands with your feet. Using the help of your hands in the very beginning, and then powerfully contracting your toes, and then moving your hands away. So it's almost like you're going to drink water from cupped hands with your feet. And then leave that. Bring your right foot to stand on the floor, and snap your big toe. Snap your big toe onto the mat or the floor. You want to make a clicking sound. You might have to help with your hands in some way, but you're going to bring your right toe over the top of your second toe or your first little toe and try to create an audible sound. Help with your hands as you need. And then your left foot. Find it for yourself. If you need to help with your hands, get some curvature, but you're going to use the friction you can create with your big toe on top of your first little toe to create a snap or a some type of sound that you can create on the floor. And then alternate. Help with your hands as you need. Together. And then rest here in sitting. You might notice a tingling in your feet at this point, or maybe they just, for me, my feet just feel bigger than they do before I start the lesson. Because these lessons can be done in any variation. You can create your own pathways, your own little exercises. I think the important thing to remember about awareness through movement, or when utilizing the useful components of awareness through movement, we're paying attention, we are aware, and we're not exercising, and we're not pushing our endurance other than maybe our ability to stay with sensation mentally, to redirect. When you notice yourself going away, similar to meditation, just come back to the sensations that you're feeling. It's okay to drift. It'll teach you something about your own patterns, to see how to observe in a calm space, in a calm way, with the time to observe oneself, how we drift, and what it feels like to come back to the present moment, to what you're sensing. All right. So with the soles of your feet facing to each other, interlace your right hand with your right toes and your left hand with your left toes. So all fingers and all toes. Some of you may be able to do this really quickly. As you can see, it takes me some effort, but it's just a whole lot of sensation to put toes between fingers between toes. And once you get them there, once you're all interlaced, roll on your back like this. Whee! If that's available to you. And then lie back, stand the soles of your feet. So bend up your knees, stand the soles of your feet, and just pay attention to the sensations you feel in the bottom of your feet. That's the end of the lesson. Thank you for joining me today. And again, feel free to revisit this lesson as often as you like, once a day, twice a day, once a week, whenever you feel like you need it. But as you can now sense in your feet, I'm sure, a change. And what kind of change that is for you to define, of course. And however, I do think that there's a tingling sensation that I've heard from many people that occur at this point. And I think what that is your kinesthetic awareness. That's circulation. The circulation and the power of your ability to touch yourself, not just from the outside, as we did with our fingers, but with our nervous system from the inside. So the level of attention you can bring to a part of yourself that for a lot of people cause a lot of pain, and I think largely due to overriding our sensations that we feel on a daily basis, that create overuse injuries similar to plantar fasciitis or some kind of tendonitis, any type of overuse type injury. is usually a result of pattern behavior usually pertaining or stemming from standing on a concrete floor. That stationary position is, I think, becoming as widely understood as being hard on our bodies as much as sitting at a screen or lurching over looking at a smartphone. So I hope this is helpful. I hope that if you have any questions that you'll reach out to me, and know that I'm available in the Evansville, Indiana area for hands-on work too. And thank you for your time and attention, and happy sensing.